Hi, everybody. My name is Mike Shipley, and I'm one of the co-hosts of a new TV show called Crossover that brings together gender and sexual minority voices from Canada and the United States across 7 different partisan lines of major political parties in both nations. So I'm here to talk to you today about HIV and AIDS funding. So one of my colleagues, the Liberal in Canada, had kind of tipped me off that there was this controversy going on with a spending allocation that is over 10 years old that still has not been dispersed, even though the government has been promising it since like 2003 or something. Now, I'm a libertarian, so I'm a U.S. libertarian. So as you probably know, we have our catchphrase, taxation is theft. And I do believe that. I don't think it's ethical to coerce people, take their resources, and then use it for other things. But having said that, I really want to take conservative politicians to task on this, because what we often find is that a narrative about fiscal responsibility is used as a mask to advance a socially conservative basically like an act of cultural warfare, right? So while I do think that humans are generous in spirit and that we can accomplish great things through voluntary means, we aren't at that point yet. And typically when we see these budget conversations taking place, it's not on that fundamental level of how can we move away from a society that operates on coercively funded programs towards a voluntary solution. We don't hear that. We hear who is politically an easy target for us to demonize so we can justify moving around a small amount of funds from one budget pot to another, and then go back to our constituents and report that we've done something fiscally responsible. Excuse me. So I'm not a fiscal conservative. I'm a fiscal libertarian. And I want to live in a world where economic power imbalances are not used as a weapon, right? So that's part of the reason why confiscating resources is like not okay in libertarian philosophy. But that's kind of bringing me back to my point. The way our structure is right now, there are confiscated resources, and they are allocated to purposes, especially in Canada, healthcare, right? So when you take money from everybody, you can't pick and choose who you turn around and make the beneficiary of that. Like, that is not okay. And especially in America, where cultural conservatism and fiscal, I'm not super familiar exactly with whether these dynamics are exactly the same in Canada. I feel like they mostly are, but maybe not quite to the sort of the degree of, I don't know. I just feel like America's Republicans are a lot more like right wing than Canada's conservatives are, right? So you seem to be overall a little bit more progressive than we are, right? So, but I can only speak for America, but I know that our Republicans, they love to make enemies and demons out of gender and sexual minority people, especially people living with HIV or AIDS, right? Because it's so easy for them to make it sound like, this is all our fault. We placed ourselves at risk, and why should somebody else, have to foot the bill? And, cultural conservatives, people in red districts, they just eat that up, right? So my overall point is to simply, I'm not going to say that I believe having monopoly funded programs is the ideal solution. But I will say that if that's the solution that's in existence today, then the resources need to flow to people without regard to which health conditions they have. And if there's been money allocated to HIV/AIDS treatment for over a decade now, and I'm watching Justin Trudeau apologize to people on TV drying his eyes with a tissue in front of a picture of a rainbow, then I better see the HIV/AIDS funding coming down to the people that actually need it. So again, this was Mike Shipley. I'm the U.S. Libertarian. And I'm just very grateful to be on this show, and I hope you got something out of what I said today. Thank you.